Right, we are recording officially. It is Back to Basics, and that's Monday night the 13th. It's so good to have you all with us this evening. For those of you who just joined us, you've just missed like a really cool song that we've been playing. We Are the Champions. I'm the Eye of the Tiger by Katy Perry, one of my just absolute most favorite songs that I love to play. And I just thought we needed some hyped up energy to just keep us going here. So please, as I go through, we're going to be participating tonight. So there's going to be lots of chatting, and you're going to be answering questions and chatting and telling me what you guys read and how you found the book, because I'd love to know your perspectives and how it impacted you. And also, yeah, what did that mean to you? So that was really cool. So we're starting with, let me just put that there. There we go. All right, guys. So that's it. That's the book. No Procrastination is the book that we are hopefully working with today. So let's see how that's going to affect us. So if you didn't get to read it, you're going to have some really great insights tonight. So that's the book. Stop share. Okay, so type in the chat box, or if you don't type in the chat box, then hey, who would like to tell us first? Okay, the first person who downloaded the book was Vilma. I know that. I think she was the first download. She got it all and she got it moving there. But who would like to share from reading No Procrastination? What did it mean to you? And
Dus unmute, dan bak af.
Yeah. So what did it mean to you? Who would like to start? Okay, Anthony, you're going to get, if you haven't got the link to join the continued development program that we've got going, and just chat to whoever signed you into the business, and we'll get you a link so you can upload next week's book. Next week's book is going to be really, really awesome. I found some great insights here. Who would like to start? No one. Vilma, go for it.
You know what? I'll put my big foot in it.
At least you're not procrastinating.
I was waiting for somebody to come in and say something, that I'm not the first for once. Yeah, I've got a couple of comments. It's not really a book, I felt. It's a synopsis of things put together, so it doesn't really read like a book. I definitely did get some insights. I agree with a number of things. You know, one of them is the two most annoying sentences in the English language are, "How are you?" and "I don't know."
Yes.
How are you is the most insincere question anybody in the English language asks, and "I don't know" is the biggest cop-out. So, but
I'm going to add a third one to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
I have a third one to that. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. And I agree with you on how are you, because people don't actually care how you really are. But the other one is, I know that.
Oh, shucks. Yeah. Know it all.
So the other one is, I know that. So good. Those are the good three. So most insincere sentences for the English language we're saying is, I don't know. How are you? And the other one is, I know that.
I know that. I did do some more Googling on the no procrastination, and I found something very interesting that says there are 4 different kinds of procrastinators.
Yeah.
The one is the anxious procrastinator, which they do describe in here as well.
Yeah.
Then there's the fun procrastinator. They've got too much fun to do what they need to do. Then it's the, oh, I've got plenty of time procrastinator. And then there's the perfectionist procrastinator. And if I would call myself a procrastinator, which I by nature am not, I would be a perfectionist procrastinator.
Working with you, I gathered that. I would also put you on the spectrum if we had to put you on those ones. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice
Yeah.
one.
And the story about the brain was very was good, I thought. But
Yes, that was good, eh?
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, so that's me. Let's give somebody
Thank
else
you.
a chance.
Yes, awesome. And I'm sure you'll add some more insights when somebody else comments. Awesome. Not that I'm saying that in a nice way. The mind's going to trigger off something else.
Absolutely.
Who else would like to say what they read and what they got out of the reading? Yes, Keith.
I'll just jotted down on all 9 chapters a few things, but I'll just say like from the first 2 or 3 something. Just about people say not feeling like it, and it's plain and simple laziness by saying that, and don't make excuses of getting ways not to do things.
Yeah.
It was in chapter 1. In chapter 2 was fear of failure keeps people procrastinating, and people tend to procrastinate after several attempts with no success, and that makes them give up, but they need to try again.
Mm-hmm.
And in chapter 3 also, people say that they don't have the right tools or support and use it as an excuse to remain in a comfort zone. And I feel with what we're doing, we do have all the correct tools and support available to us.
I was just going to say, Keith, don't you agree that we have got all the tools? And isn't that one of the biggest network marketing downfalls of people, is that they come up with that one?
Yes, definitely. And we've got it all available. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And procrastination is a big thing. People, I don't think, realize how many of us actually do procrastinate. As much as we say we don't, I think all of us will fall into a degree of procrastination based on where we're at, what our history is, something along the line like that. There's certain things. So, for example, Anthony is one of these guys that does things immediately. I mean, if it's broken, it fixes it. But if it had to come to sanding down furniture or washing windows, like, he will procrastinate to high heaven, because those are the jobs he was given to do at home as a child. So he'll do everything except those things if you ask him to do it. So procrastination works it actually comes to play for all of us, even for those that are doers. Who would like to comment on something else? Yep.
I will.
Yes, Gertrude. How's it?
How's it?
She's alive. She lives.
I live. I got through my Greek assignment. So
Studying Greek, people, of all things, Greek.
Yeah. So Greek and trying to keep up with just trying to do a change over an element. So yeah, I think on the procrastination thing, I hugely procrastinated and didn't read it, but mainly because I was studying Greek, so it would not have helped me with my Greek. But I think just the thing of procrastination is it's something that weighs you down. Well, I found it weighs me down, because at the back of my mind, I know I need to be doing this thing. And because I'm procrastinating, I don't do it, and that drains energy from me. Whereas if I just did it, I would have got it done and I would be energized to carry on. So I find, for me personally, procrastination drains energy out of me, because I keep worrying about it in the back of my head. Whereas if I were just to do it, I would be able to take my next step in what I need to do.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing with that. And it does weigh you down, I agree. Paul, how are you, Mr. Krabendam?
Oh, excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah. Look, I looked through the book, and one of the best things in the book is the list, where they say make a list, and set priorities to that. Because my procrastination comes in, when you have too much to do, and you start you get onto the point where you do the important and the urgent always.
Yes.
So then when you get to a point where you can have some, catch your breath, where do you jump to?
Yeah.
Unimportant, not urgent.
It's true.
And then you back into so you jump forward and backward, and sometimes you're just looking for a way out.
That is so
being
true.
a doer, but then at some stage you try to find a reason for not doing something, and you wait till it gets important and urgent again. So the list helps you because that categorizes what you need to do, and you can constantly see. You don't have to think and spend energy on trying to remember what you still have to do. The list then keeps you going.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Can prioritize on that.
And Paul, I agree with
you.
Yes.
So, sorry, Michelle. I just want to follow on. Is with your list, Paul? Is if there's one thing people will procrastinate about, is the story about the journal. They ask you to journal. Now, the whole story about the journal is the personification of procrastination. It's because you don't journal, you don't make lists, you procrastinate. So it's almost like a paradox that they bring in there to journal. Yeah.
Look, behind me on the wall is my my big board, and that board is as I come into my sort of study room. So it's in my face, and that's what I do. Not necessarily on a daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis. And when weekends come, I put it down there, and it feels good when you start crossing out the things that you've done.
Yeah.
And then breaking them up into smaller parts, because sometimes there's just some things you can't get done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's go.
That's the one.
That's the one. So let's go where Paul was talking, because a lot of us don't understand this time management benefits, and it's a time management matrix, and how it actually works. And Paul's got the head and hit the nail on the head, is that most of us don't understand for ourselves what is important, what's urgent. So if you look at I hope you can see I don't think maybe I can make my screen. Is it big enough for you? Can you see it, Paul? It's big enough.
Yeah. No,
okay, cool. So you've got your y-axis and your x-axis. So you've got your let's say your 4 quadrants. On the bottom left-hand corner is not important. Okay, then you've got important, but across the top you've got urgent and not urgent. So if you had to look at, for example, quadrant number 1, which is it's urgent and it's important, would be things like, for example, deadlines, emergencies, a fire, baby crying, those kind of things would be like urgent and important. They need to be dealt with like right now. Then you've got your not so urgent, but they are important. And so when you're making your lists, it's important to say, where do these fit into? Anthony's got in the A, B, C. So A means I need to do it today. B means I need to do it within this week, and C, I need to do it within this month. So he puts this into an AB category, ABC category. So you would have your not urgent, but it is important, would be like prevention and preparation, relationship building, long-term planning, creating new opportunities, exercise, self-care, those kind of things. Then on the other hand, the third one would be urgent but not important, and those are your distractions and your interruptions. Guys, you will not believe certain phone calls, emails, meetings. We don't know how to manage our lives, because we actually, a lot of us live our lives in the urgent not important zone, because we haven't done exactly what and I'm going to read what Liz wrote as well, and what Paul is saying is the lists. We're not on top of making these lists, and how do so I know, for example, what my daily method of operation is, but because I haven't got it written down, it's not diarized, I haven't allocated a time for it, then we fall into the urgent not important zone. So we'll answer the phone call, we'll take the distractions, those kind of things. And then of course you've got your not urgent not important. That's your trivial business, pleasant time wasters. Facebook is one of those, some phone calls, some emails, and that kind of thing. So that's this kind of stuff is really, really important to understand. And when you're making your lists, to prioritize your list. So I'm going to ask somebody like, let's just read. I'm just going to ask, I just want to read Brenda's
so Michelle, just to come back, the yellow block is the block where you should live.
let's go back to that quickly. I'm just going to screen share that again. Okay, so yeah, so that's the not urgent important.
Yeah, so that's where you can be on top of things and where you are ahead of you, what you need to do. So because if you constantly in the important urgent area, you're always busy with the emergencies and the crisis and the pressing problems, where you should actually get to the point where you say, I've got all of that done. I'm now going into the not urgent, but the important ones. And I can do things, yeah, I would say more in a better organized way.
Delegate.
And then you're not always under that pressure circumstances.
Exactly, 100%. And when you make lists, you know, in our lives, we must make space for a crisis could happen, but we mustn't live in that space. So we must be flexible enough to adjust our time frame, but we mustn't live there all the time. We must be living where we're in control of our daily pattern all the time, which is pretty cool. And then I just want to read Liz's one here. It's amazing to read the book and realize that doing tasks in small chunks helps you get it done, and then the reward is the best bit once you've completed it. Like, absolutely, because we don't reward ourselves. So when we're making those lists, when we're planning our lives, and Jen, I want to ask people, how do they actually manage this urgent, not important, when it comes to the distractions, the emails, the phone calls, the meetings, and that kind of thing, for some ideas, because that's what's important is do we have practical, yes, we can journal, and we've got to identify where our areas are and where's our distractions that prevent us from doing our daily method of operation when it comes to actually building our element business. We need to know what that is. Okay, if we don't manage our life, someone else will. 100%, Trudy. If we don't live our dreams, 100% as well. So it is about that prioritizing. Who else? Juanita, did you want to say something? Oh, Kitty, do you want to say something?
Hi, good evening. Yes, very well, and yourself?
Excellent.
Because I'm more Afrikaans, I think I first went to look up the word itself and all the meanings of it and what was flowing and coming from that. And it was very interesting for me that it looks like there's a positive and a negative side of the word procrastination. And the more negative side, and people that's more will be people with depression, low self-esteem, anxiety, and the ADHD people, and guilt. Where on the other hand, the positive meaning of the word was, and there was also two meanings, that it's not always necessary that you procrastinate on something, because there might be a information and a further outcome.
Yes.
And then something very interesting for me was they were also talking about cultural behavior. And that in some cultures, people are either more task-orientated than time-orientated. And I was really surprised to see that. And in some of my other things that I'm involved in, it was giving me a better understanding of why some people don't do things the way and as quick as we want them to do it, or and that was the cultural thing. So that was very interesting to me. And then, of course, when I was reading the book, the one thing that I know, me personally, is I don't want to be forced to do something. Cannot be forced. If you force me, the red flags are going, and they stop, and I break just there and then. So that was the one thing that I saw in myself there. So yeah.
No, that's me too. Do not tell me I have to do something, then it's just I'm like done. I'm not going to do it.
So yeah,
Brilliant.
but the cultural thing was really interesting for me.
Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Nice, thank you. Yes, Juanita.
So for me, it was the important thing, and the step is that I liken it to an alcoholic. You have to recognize the fact that we all procrastinate. And that if you don't realize that, and as everybody said, there are different categories of procrastinations, and we come up with all kinds of different excuses. But the important thing is, if we don't recognize the fact that we do procrastinate and we use different excuses as to why we shouldn't be doing stuff, then you can't work on it. So in order for us to improve, in order for us to get better at not procrastinating, we first have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And for me, that was the important thing. And then the second thing in the book was also that if the quicker we do something, the sooner we will do it. But it's when we keep putting it off and off and off that we find all kinds of excuses not to end up doing it. And that's really where the procrastination then, of course, sets in. And so that reminded me of, and I can't remember her name, but at one of the GoPro events, Michelle, where as I can't remember, but she's got a technique that she uses, is that before she can even think about putting it off, she goes and she counts, and she says, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, go, and then she's got to do it. So she
remember the rocket one, Jan? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it.
Yeah. That's it. So she doesn't even give herself a time to think about it or find an excuse as to why she shouldn't do it. She just goes and says, right, I'm going to do it, and then count down, and then she's just got to do it. Yes. And then so what that does, it also then gets you into a mindset of just going and doing it. And the more you're doing it, you're getting into the routine of just doing it and not actually overthinking stuff, because that's part of the problem, is that we start overthinking it, and then the procrastination sets in. Absolutely. And then, of course, you know, it's a thing of, like, we don't feel like it, we're scared, you know. So it's really about, so if you as an alcoholic, if you recognize the fact that you have a problem, then you can go and work on those things. So as someone that procrastinates, if you recognize the reason why you're procrastinating, you can then address that head on.
100%. Gosh, I also can't remember her name, but Jan, you remember her? It was like so.
Yes,
so
I'm also trying to think of her
easy.
names. The 5-second Mel Robbins.
Mel Robinson. There we go. Yes,
she was fantastic. But the key is counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because there's nowhere else to go. Not counting up. Remember?
That's it. That's correct. Yes. That's right. Yes.
Because now you get to naught, and naught means go do it. You know, the rocket is blasted.
Yes.
I remember. I'll try and find her clip. I've written her name down here, the 5, 4, 3. I'll try and find that clip. 5,
yeah, she's 4, fantastic.
3, 1. Was really
and I think that's a great tool to actually get you out of your procrastination.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just, and as I say, often it's just like, I don't feel like it.
Exactly. No. And her story is that it started with depression, and that she had to get herself going. And how did she get herself out of bed? By going, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And she happened to be depressed, lying in bed, and actually watched the rocket being blasted off. And she said, well, that's the only way I can get going. And then she started that daily habit of that. And that's how she overcame her depression, and also the procrastination of moving forward in life. So yeah, it was really a good series. I'll try and find that. If any of you find it first, then we can just post it on the group. It'll be nice to listen to it. Awesome. Thank you. This is great insights. And so going back to lists, going back to managing, going back to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, how do I actually get myself going into the next stage? What is it that are there tools that, besides just writing lists, and besides have you thought about, when you were reading the book, oh gosh, this I associate with this particular thing, I wonder what action I could put in place to prevent distractions, for example, or prevent whatever it might be, you know, those kind of things. Anybody got some? Okay, let's take emails, for example. Yes, Jan.
Yes, I'm not going to talk about emails, but for me, it's really when I focus the night before on what my plans are for the next morning, and you know, work out exactly my time frame for the first few hours of the day, at least. Then accomplish so much more. If I don't do that, then I wake up. Yes, I'll start doing a few things, but it's not clear. It's not fixed in my the process is not clear in my mind or written down. Actually do write it down, and when I do, it's better. So I think those are very important factors for me. And then also to consider what is the best time. I thought that was very interesting in the chapter, Use Your Body Against Procrastination, finding the best time of the day to do whatever you've got to do. So how does it work for you? When is your best time to use to be productive and to get through stuff? So I thought that was very helpful.
Awesome. Absolutely. No, that's definitely extremely helpful, because if you're not prepared, when you wake up in the morning, you start, what shall I start with? And then it's like, then the distractions come first thing in the morning, and you get sidetracked to go and do this and sidetracked to go and do that and all that. And Pam is saying here, very important to have a balance between a healthy mind and a healthy exercise. Absolutely, keep alert. Very much like drinking and driving, Quentin. Okay, so it was a nice little synopsis start for us to have a look at. And the reason why we chose that is because many of us are in a place where we actually are not aware of how much we actually do procrastinate. And that's not to say that we are bad people, but it's to say that exactly what Juanita was saying early on is we need to recognize, where do I procrastinate and why do I procrastinate? Because if I know where I'm procrastinating and why I'm procrastinating, it's then easier to have the action plan. So if we don't start doing things like that, we're not going to have that action plan, and we're not going to have anything, then we're not going to do anything with it. Okay. And then we make stupid excuses of why we justify why we shouldn't be doing what we are doing. We justify why there's problems with things. We justify, whatever it might be. And when justification kicks in, it should be our warning light to say that we're actually procrastinating, because we don't realize that we'll justify ourselves out of something. And going back to the list again, if I make the list, I go do the list, I tick it off, and I go do that. Now, not all of us want to work with lists. Now, I live on lists. I love lists. It's my type of my personality that I've got, whereas Anthony hates lists. Okay. He doesn't like lists. He doesn't, it's not necessary. He's got a mind and he'll remember what it is. But I can tell you now, when Anthony doesn't want to do something, I hear him on his Facebook. His Facebook is his distraction, okay? And then, like I was saying, I know he's on holiday when he reads the People magazine, okay? So it's a random thing my husband does, and then I know, we're going into that shutdown mode, all right? So that's my little thing that I know that if he's and he buys a People magazine about twice a year, and then I know he's in shutdown mode, and he's wanting to escape the world. So what else who else has got something that they benefited or could share from reading through the synopsis on procrastination? And of course, anything else that you might add that from procrastination, that kind of thing. And we've got some nice time management. No, are we all good? Yes, Keith, go for it.
I'd say besides having the correct mindset as well, we need to stay motivated by celebrating small little tasks that we do achieve.
Yes.
No matter how small, it's important to a lot of us to achieve something.
I totally agree with you on that, and how important it is to celebrate. And that's exactly what Liz said earlier on. Guys, rewarding yourself for succeeding. Do we're going through all these motions, and I always remember one of my mentors I think it was when I was in my first network marketing company, and one of the things that we had to do, we had a checklist of, I actually pulled it up today because I was having a look at 6 habits of and George and Tessa will remember this, and Liz, you're going to resort, you'll remember it as well. And that is, just hold on, that would be 6 Habits of an Effective Networker, and that was within the Amway system. And one of them was to belong to the continued education program. You had to belong to it, okay? And it was you still got yours. Your checklist was: have you read a book for 15 minutes a day? Have you you know, there was just a few daily, like listen to a CD or a motivational CD or whatever it was, and there was a checklist of things that we had to do. And that was a non-negotiable, and because we had that, we didn't procrastinate on it. We just knew what it took for me to be bulletproof was actually to be able to. And I was looking for my starting point booklet today. I know I've got one somewhere around my desk so that I could actually show you guys exactly, you know, what we had to do. And we had a little booklet, and in that little booklet was I had to tick off. So when I did my coaching session with my upline, I had to prove that yes, every single day I read 15 minutes a day, and every single day I did a personal growth DVD or whatever it might be. So we were always going through those kind of things. And that's where I thought, no, when I saw this website that we can all get these same books at the same time without having to have things posted to us and delivered to us, and those short and sweet, which was just up my alley, just up my alley completely. And it is so important for us to realize that procrastination is actually a disease. It's actually a disease, and like Juanita said earlier on, we all have it. We all have a portion of it. Now, how big is it for you? And you need to recognize where it is and what it is that you need to do to overcome. So I know I procrastinate in certain things, so I block out my diary and I stick to my diary. If you want to have something else that's not blocked out and I just don't do it, because I can get sidetracked. I'm one of those fun procrastinators. I will do everything except what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so Vilma, that is the best way to curb your procrastination, is with accountability, and most people have been held to account. So there's another problem issue that we have there. So I've chosen a book for next. Anybody want to carry on saying anything about this particular book before I show you what I think we should do next week? Is there anything else anybody else wants to say? Now I've lost my book. Where is it? I have to type in. Oh, come on. Okay, let me just go to the top and type in the search bar. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Here we go. Got the book. Okay, anybody like to say anything more about procrastination? Oh, emails, before I go any further. Guys, emails are the world's worst. Set a date, set a time when you're going to go through your emails, set a time when you're going to go through your WhatsApps, and set a time when you're going to go through your Telegram. Because guys, there's nothing more rude than you with your friends, and you decide that you are not going to procrastinate, and you are continuously on your cell phone, okay, and you're with your family and friends, and you continuously just have to quickly answer it, because now that's another thing altogether. Okay, so with your emails, set a time, but at 10 o'clock I will go through my emails. Then I'm not going to answer another email until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then go through emails again. Otherwise you're going to be, they become the distractions. Your cell phone becomes a distraction, and emails become a distraction. Your WhatsApp becomes a distraction. Your Telegram becomes a distraction. Facebook becomes a distraction. So set yourself times when you will actually answer those things. So for some people, they wake up first thing in the morning, they have a they make sure that they do what they've got to do first thing in the morning, and then they're on their phones and they sort out their WhatsApps, finished and clear, and then they don't look at them until 12 o'clock again. Okay, so there's certain days that you would want to be available all the time. So please have a look at what your distractions are, because that's the one that prevents you from actually doing the right activities at the right time. Okay, happy with that? Cool. So I just want to say to every single one of you that read the book, well done. And really, it's really easy reading. They're not heavy reading books, and we can do it all in a short space of time, so that's not a problem whatsoever. And how important it is for us to realize that we can read these books in short spaces of time. So this is what we're going to be doing next week. And I've now just lost the book again. I shall find it for you. My screen keeps jumping. There it is. It's coming up. Got it. Okay. And Keith was the one who actually was talking about this all night. So when you log in for next week, this one's 41 pages. So this week we're all going to be on the same page, and that is exactly truly, when you leave your phone behind, it's amazing how effective you can be. I agree with you, Jan. Stop the notifications. Yes, you don't have to know who's answering you when. Okay, so this is our book, guys. We're going to do Successful Mindset. That is our book for next month. It's called The Successful Mindset. It's 41 pages. And basically, the success, the difference, different people measure it in a whole range of different ways. To some, success might be opening their own business or getting a promotion at work, whilst to others it could be passing an exam with a high mark, finally buying their first home car, or even managing to hit their savings goal. In every walk of life, there is a success to be had, whether it be work, school, home, within your relationships, with friendships, or even with your finances. Successful people all have one thing in common. They've trained their mind to be programmed to achieve. At the core of reaching your goal and getting what you want is your mindset, playing a huge influential part on how to approach working towards your goals and the way in which you pick yourself up from failure. Being successful is down to a lot more than pure luck alone. In order to achieve success in almost everything, it's vital to have the right mindset, strategy, and approach. If you're not achieving your goals as often as you would like, your mindset could need a revamp. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and we're going to be reading for this next week. It is 41 pages, and we all know it's not 41 pages that are so big that we can't get them. So it's this blue book here. I will post it in the group. It's The Successful Mindset, How to Develop and Reprogram Your Mind for Success. So that's what we're going to be chatting about next week, Monday. Please make sure that as many of your team are reading the book at the same time. And I would love, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who participated this evening. It was really super awesome having you guys participate. I just want to say thank you. And I look forward to more participation from more people next week. And let's see if we can. So next week, we're going to really look at how we can implement having a successful mindset, because right now, with regards to, we've identified that most of us within our businesses are procrastinating, and that is a reality. So I would like you, while you're looking at a successful mindset, what is your mindset behind not doing the DMO? What is your mindset behind the fact that many of us, a lot of the team don't want to recruit people into the business, although we have this amazing promotion this week, which is the founder promotion? Why don't you want to help people rank up into the business, understanding that we are progressive, we are moving forward, and procrastination is preventing you from not just growing your own business, but you're actually robbing others from the opportunity to know that there is a vehicle in hand. Yes, we still have got some IT issues that we need to deal with. And the reality is, for example, some of our accounts started only just getting renewed now after the first 30 days signing up and that kind of thing. And some of us, our accounts renewed one day earlier. What we've got to understand is that instead of bitching and moaning about that, what we need to do is we just say to ourselves, hold on, we need to highlight the issue. Okay, so we recognize the fact that our account was renewed one day early. 2, I've got to get a message to support, because that's the way it goes, because support won't know that your account was renewed one day early if you don't let them know. Because the guy who programmed the programming, he might be one day early in ahead of us in South Africa. So he programmed it to midnight on his day. So according to his programming, it was 28 days. But because we were 1 day ahead of them, we got cut off by 1 day. So those are little time issues that nobody would have thought about. So somebody's going to be 28 days, somebody's going to be 27 days, and somebody's going to be 29 days, based on the fact of where was it programmed. And so we need to factor in, so they probably didn't even think that we need to time zone the countries for the different things. So guys, it is all about what is your mindset? What is your success mindset behind that? Leaders have success mindsets. Leaders are leaders, people who actually move forward without finding problems and belittling other people and being suspicious of people all the time. And, you know, we need to get our mindset into the right mindset. Guys, I still am going to say that a lot of our procrastination in our business right now has to do with our mindset. And that's why we need to have a look at what is my mindset, what am I thinking, how am I actually getting myself through this, and how can I be the example leader that is going to have teams wanting to build extremely. Guys, if you want to go and have a look at, you want to talk about mindset that's gone right the way through to fleshing out in the natural. I mean, go and have a look at Nana Nax's team. I mean, they have dresses. They all dress exactly the same. They all have element printed on their dresses. They have, the other team has got caps. I mean, they are branding this because they have a right mindset. We're too scared to even mention it because we're scared we have the wrong mindset. Okay, and our belief system is done. And remember, I just did the presentation and I will try and bring it up here quickly. I just did it out. There's 3 reasons why people don't build. Okay, and the first one is they have poor self-belief. The other one is they don't know how to do it. And what's the third one? They don't know how to do it. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it, and they don't believe in the system. So guys, you're falling into one of those categories. How do we build a strong mindset around element so that we can also be able to help so many people earn 6,500 Rand a month by going consultant with 12 people? If you had 12 people in your business in Amway, you only earn 750 Rand. Okay, and those people had to go and buy for at least 2,500 Rand. 100 points was at 1.5 in those days, so it's about 2,000 Rand. Today, everybody had to go and buy 2,000 Rands worth of products, so you needed 12 people buying. This is uploading receipts. For crying out loud, it's uploading receipts. Even in COVID, we never said every account has to upload to the $800 or the $200 per week. Just upload what you can and go and build a business. Let's get the right mindset behind this, because the more people we bring into Element, the more people are going to be able to earn income. Already, they've tested the Bitcoin with the higher ranks. That one started going through. Yes, the biggest problem is how do we KYC everybody, and we've now partnered with some people here in South Africa. They've employed someone who's going to help them, who's a lawyer and a compliance person, who's going to actually help to start KYCing accounts. So as soon as accounts can get KYC quickly. So guys, it's progressive, but nothing happens overnight, and nothing can happen quickly. So we need to have the right mindset behind that. We need a successful mindset. And what does a successful mindset entail? So before I leave you all, I want to play something for you as well, and then we can end. Now I just need to share screen, but I'm not sharing screen in the right place. Hold on a second. I've lost what I want to share. There we go. 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 Here we go. Now I got it. Hold on a second. Share screen. Share screen. Right. Let's do this. Okay. Did I share? Now, after all that, did I share screen with the sound? I'm doing what